If you are feeling frustration, friction, or fear, then this message is for you. Welcome back to Mistful Musings with Morgana, everybody. Today we're going to have a little channel chat. So I was getting a bunch of different channels last night, and even as I woke up this morning, which if anybody knows that time and space when you're sleeping to when you wake up, you're in a subconscious space and it's called the liminal space. And a lot of times we get wonderful messages from divine in that space. So I was hearing certain phrases. So we'll get into that. But we're just going to have a little chat about what's up and what Spirit has to tell you today. So I'm feeling this energy like in my cells, and perhaps it's coming within me. And also I think I'm picking up on like the collective vibe as well. There is this like friction-y kind of fear-based, like tangible kind of chaotic energy. It feels sticky. It feels heavy. There may be some like emotions like anger, frustration. Like if you found yourself, 1:11 on the clock. If you find yourself spouting off at the mouth, you know what I mean? Or if you're noticing like even your kids are just kind of spinning out a little bit, you know, or you're spinning out, coworkers are spinning out, friends are spinning out. Like people might be feeling this without actually realizing what it is. Okay. So there is this level of like kind of ickiness in the ethers. And so let's speak about it. Let's talk about it. You know, let's not just brush it under the rug. Let's talk about it. Also have Uranus stationing direct. It's been in retrograde since I think September of last year. And it's beginning its journey. It's like a 12-week journey. It's beginning its journey. It's stationed direct in Taurus, and it's beginning its 12-week journey as it starts to march towards Gemini. So because it's going direct, like, yay, that's exciting. Uranus is kind of like the rebel of the planets. It's kind of stubborn. It likes to like shake things up. It likes to be like unique and extremely authentic. So when it's in Taurus, and it's when it's direct, Taurus is really grounded and founded. Taurus loves stability. Taurus loves stable homes, stable jobs, stable relationships, stable all the things, right? So Taurus is not a huge fan of Uranus. And so those energies cause a little bit of friction. They cause a little bit of unrest. They cause a little bit of chaos. And so you might be feeling the stirrings of this shift. Now, when Uranus goes direct, and especially when it moves into Gemini, expect some breakthrough moments, right? So we're just gearing up. It's just turning direct. So these things are probably not going to happen just yet, but they may amp up for you. So expect some breakthrough through the chaos, right? Expect, different directional shifts. Expect some massive clarity to come in over the next like 3 months plus. But it's in a way that shakes things up, that may feel not so super stable, paving new paths. It's there to like a bulldozer bust stuff down. So it may be challenging the way that you find security in your home, the way that you show up to relationships or feel secure in relationships, the way that you handle your finances or your money situation. So like a lot of these things may feel kind of super friction-y. And that does instill fear in us because we're human. So us as humans really like stability. We like structure. We like foundation. And it really triggers our ego, which triggers our fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode, right? So we have a little bit of tension, that we're feeling, but don't shy away from it because Uranus going direct is also helping to close the door or complete a cycle that started in 2018. So think back to that space. We're closing out a cycle, something that, we started back in 2018. We have the ability to move it along, keep it moving. So what was that back then? Kind of reflect on that. So there's a lot of unearthing happening, and then everything that's happening in February, you know, and with all of these planets and all of this redirection and all of this reset. And it is just batshit right now, right? But today may feel a little bit more friction, friction filled. So just be gentle with yourselves. That's what's going on in the ethers. So as far as the channels that are happening, yesterday I was meditating on this energy, and out of the blue, like a Mother Goose nursery rhyme that I haven't heard in forever popped up in my head. And I'm going to read it to you. There was an old woman tossed up in a basket 19 times as high as the moon. And where she was going, I couldn't but ask it. Old woman, old woman, old woman, said I. Oh, whither, oh, whither, oh, whither so high? To sweep the cobwebs out of the sky, and I'll return by and by. Okay, so what does that mean? What's that mean? Okay. So there's this old woman who I see as like the feminine crone, the wise one, is taking this journey up into the ethers, into the multiversal space, right? Into the moon. And the moon represents the shadow aspects of life, right? The unseen, which sometimes stirs fear within us. You know, anytime we don't know things as human, again, like we feel ungrounded or unfounded, we can feel frictiony, frustrated, or fear-based. And the moon also represents the shadow space. So, you know, old cycles, old patterns, you know, old identities, all of that stuff are represented by the moon space. It's also space maybe where we are not navigating with our physical eyes. We must use our intuition and our gifts of perception to navigate that space. So this old feminine crone, you know, this wise crone moves up into the shadow space, right? She moves into the shadow space and everyone's like, hey, where are you going? And also the number 19, right? The number 9 is endings and 19 equals 20, right? Which is more of like a decisive master manifestation number, that is like kind of new beginnings on crack, as I would say, you know? So it's like she's moving up into this space and she's confronting the shadow space for release. She's using her broom, which has been known to energetically move the old energy out, right? She's sweeping away the old energy. She's sweeping away the old cycles, patterns, behaviors, identities, in order to shift the energy. She's clearing out old cycles and she'll come back. Don't worry. You know, everyone's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? She's like, I'm going to go do this work and then I'm going to come back, right? So that nursery rhyme popped into my head, obviously for a reason. We're in the midst of massive, massive reset energy, right? So if we can all find our inner crone guided by our intuitive feminine spirit, and maybe this is guided by your emotions too, to clear out what is unseen, to clear out some of those old cobwebs of shadow cycles, behaviors, identities, whatever, relationships, you know, where you've been showing up in not main character energy, it's time to sweep all that away, all right? And you'll come back and you'll have your 2.0 moment. Another phrase that was coming in this morning was joyful redirection. Joyful redirection. Spirit was like whispering that in my ear as my eyes were waking up barely. And they kept saying it over and over. Joyful redirection, joyful redirection, joyful redirection. And like, that doesn't need a ton of explanation. Like we are being redirected to the joyful spaces that we deserve, that are our sovereign right. And so like with these energies that are happening, we, you know, with Uranus, with all of these other planets like shifting, we have a reset available. We have a redirection available, and we're being called on our wise feminine energy. Whether you're a masculine or a feminine does not matter. We all have these qualities within us, and you're being called to tap into that intuitive space, that wise space, to sweep away all of the shadows that, you know, are holding you back, all of these old cycles, you know, these 9-year, 10-year, like super old cycles, we're done. We're done with them. And universe is saying, hey, this isn't even a new chapter. This is a new book. And we want you to set the foundations of that book in joy versus fear, frustration, and chaos. Okay. So like, this is the channel coming through today. I'm going to pull a few cards, but the first card on the bottom of the deck when I shuffled the first time is the Sun. This is kind of hard to see, but it's the Sun card. It's the happiest card in the deck. You know, that little baby is, riding a white horse, which is like redemption, renewal, rebirth. That's a joyful newness. The Sun is a manifestation and illumination of some kind of wish come true. The sunflower to signify hope. So there's something like a new direction happening here for us, for you, for everybody. I know it doesn't always mean like, yeah, everything is so dandy and blah. No, but like Spirit's really asking you like, hey, like time to redirect. Okay, so the next card we get here is the Queen of Pentacles. If you can kind of see that these cards are like, woo. But this is this feminine energy, this woman standing on her business. That's the mother, right? She's the queen nurturer. She is ruling her castle with a fair and balanced hand, but she is stable. She's founded, she's grounded. She feels good with nurturing her family, her community, all of that stuff. She has what she needs, in the very physical sense. So a very confirmational energy here. Oh, this one popped up. Yes. Okay. We got the High Priestess, Major Arcana. And she is kind of, it's like two kind of queen mothers here. The High Priestess signifies intuition, right? So she is like, trust your intuition. Where are you going? How do you need to move so that you can get into your feminine energy and feel stable, right? Having some of these larger manifestations come to fruition. Let's pull one more card here. And the last card we get, heck yeah! Oh, we're 2 cards. The 10 of Pentacles. So again, this is like a wish come true. This is like happy celebration, rebirth, like getting the mama jammas, setting your foundations, like feeling grounded, feeling founded, having all of your physical needs met. Okay, so like you are coming into victory mode very much, and you are pulling it down in the physical. But you must tap into that emotional, intuitive, feminine energy and navigate via, like, be your own high priestess. Do not let other people, do not let the collective fear, frustration, friction dictate your path. And you also have to handle your business. You also have to go up there and sweep those cobwebs away. Otherwise, you're going to be repeating cycles and loops in this energy. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can do that. We all have free will, but it's not going to be fun. Last card we get here is the Judgment card. So a judgment's being made, like something's being risen from the dead. Universe is like coming in and making a judgment call. Like, hey, this is the truth. We're going to bring this rebirth out into the open. We're going to give you another chance here. A judgment is being made. So this is like super exciting, and it is a number 20 card too, which is, we're talking about the old lady in the basket with the number 19, like 19, 20, you see how that goes? And so there's like, the wheel is moving, like there's energy moving, a judgment is being made for your highest and best good. I see 2 of Cups here. I see 4 of Pentacles. So like there's decisions, there's balance that needs to happen, bringing you into a more balanced situation, and like the decisions you make are going to bring about this judgment call, however you move. No pressure at all. No big deal. But like you've been doing the work. If you've been doing the work, like totally expect to see the fruits of your labors start to gain some traction with Uranus going direct. Like that is creating breakthroughs for you. And so some of this chaos and friction and fear and frustration you're feeling, sit with that a minute. Don't let it take you down. Know that it's coming up because those are the cobwebs, right? And they're kind of sticky and icky and ooey and gooey. And it's your responsibility to handle them. Take your broom, Sit with them, take your broom, and call them out by name, and then start sweeping them away one by one until you come back down and you land in your land back down on earth and start creating, what you want in a brand new way. This is your joyful redemption. This is your joyful reset, right? So how are you going to bring that to fruition? Don't let that fear, frustration, and all of that chaotic energy today or this week eat you away. Use that as fuel. Use that as information for your rebirth. Okay, friends, drop a comment. Let me know if you're kind of feeling this frictiony energy. How's everybody doing? Also, please make sure to follow us because this year's batshit. And we need community right now more than ever. So follow us for more. Otherwise, I'm wishing you lots of love and blessings. Take care.